Alright, good afternoon. This is Matthew Marison once again from Lucas Tactical, and today I have a great opportunity to introduce you to the Rock Island Arms Corps 1911 TCM. Okay, it's a 22 caliber 1911 A1 style pistol, and it shoots a proprietary 22 caliber 40 grain projectile at over 2,000 feet per second. So what we're going to do is I'll introduce you to the handgun itself, and then we're going to get downrange and shoot a couple rounds and show you what it does. All right, so this is the Arms Corps Rock Island Armory M1911, the A1 version. It's the MS Tactical. The MS stands for mid-size, which the mid-size barrel is going to be 4 1/4 inch. The overall length of this firearm is 8 inches long and 5.5 inches high. So it's a little smaller than a typical 1911. So that's that mid-size frame. It weighs 2.5 pounds unloaded. So, you know, keeping in line with your typical 1911 specifications. The capacity are 10 rounds. Comes with 2 10-round magazines. And it shoots not only the 22 TCM round, which is a 40 grain proprietary round that travels at over 2,000 feet per second, but it also has your standard 9mm barrel that comes with it. So you can shoot both of those calibers out of this firearm. The rear sight is a LPA MS1 style adjustable sight. So it's adjustable for elevation and windage. The front sight is an orange fiber optic sight that comes standard. The grips are VZ grips. They're the G10 VZ grips, so everybody's familiar with that for 1911s. Very good feeling on this grip. Not overly aggressive, but very nice in the hand. The trigger pull on this factory is from 4 to 6 pounds. It's single action only, obviously, and it does have an adjustable trigger as far as reset and over travel. Okay, so let's clear it and show you some of the other parts of it. Nothing in the chamber and nothing in the mag well. Going into it a little bit more, the magazine release right here is checkered and it's raised a little bit, so it's not overly raised, but it does feel very good, and you can hit it very easily. Typical manual safety right here, and it's grooved right there, so it feels pretty nice. Your back strap safety right there, and the back strap is also textured or checkered, so that feels really nice. The overall finish is a Parkerized finish. It's very nice Parkerized finish. Not overly branded with anything. Actually, the only brand mark is right there. Okay. Has a tack rail for light, and that comes on the tactical version. There is also the Rock Island version, or the Rock version, that doesn't have the tack rail. So here's your 9mm barrel. So you can switch back and forth between the 9mm barrel and this 22 TCM barrel, and all you have to do is change out the recoil spring. Uses the same bushing, everything, same magazines. The only thing that's different is this barrel. All right, to give you an idea of what the 22 TCM round actually looks like, I have a couple comparable calibers up here so you can take a look. Going from left to right, you have a 5.56, you have the 22 TCM round, a typical 9mm, and then you have your 22 long rifle. Now, the 22 TCM round, it is a 40 grain jacketed hollow point projectile, and if you look at the 22 long rifle, it's the same projectile. If you look at the casing where it starts to cut down on the neck, it almost looks like a 9mm casing, and that's why it's able to be interchangeable magazines. So both the 22 TCM and the 9mm can be filled into the same magazine. And then if you look at the end of the 5.56 casing, where it kind of necks down, it almost looks like a combination of a 9mm and the 5.56 casing combined. Dimensions are a little bit different, but you get the idea of size and what we're actually dealing with, and that's how you can they're able to get such a high velocity out of this round. It didn't lock back on the last shot twice.
This was really fun. When I held the gun, it feels really big, so I thought it would be a lot of power, maybe too much power for me. But when I shot it, it was so easy. It felt so fluid. And this is the first time I've ever hit so many cartridges in a target like this, even this close at all. Very impressive. When I loaded the magazine, I usually have trouble loading the magazine because the spring is usually so hard. But with that one, it felt so fluid. Again, however, when I got to maybe like the 7th cartridge, putting it in the magazine, that got a little bit harder for me. I wasn't able to do the 10th one, but usually I'm not able to load the entire magazine. So, you might consider my arm strength really strong, really weak. As far as the recoil went, when I shoot the larger weapons, I have trouble with the recoil. It just feels really hard. But with this, I was able to control it and just shoot fluidly.
All right, so we're finished firing. We'll clear this firearm. Nothing in the magazine well, nothing in the chamber. All right, so we just wrapped up firing about 250 rounds between the 22 TCM and the 9mm. I had a couple times where the slide failed to lock to the rear on an empty magazine, maybe 3 times throughout that whole cycle. And then I had one failure to extract. It didn't extract one casing. Pretty typical. Most 1911s need to be broken in. This really didn't need to be broken in. I didn't really have any problems. Sights were pretty much dead on. Even switching between the 22 and the 9mm, stayed pretty accurately, switching between the 2 barrels, which was pretty good. As you can see in the video, the recoil from between the 22 and the 9mm pretty evident. Although with the 9mm still not a lot of recoil, but that 22 TCM, hardly any recoil at all. It really is like shooting a 22 long rifle. Absolutely no recoil. However, if you saw, the flash is pretty large. Okay, very large flash, and the concussion from that cartridge is pretty loud. Okay, very loud compared to 9mm. But all it is just a sound and a flash. There is zero recoil. Very easy for follow-up shots, managing recoil. If you have an issue where you have a shooter that's nervous about recoil, awesome tool to be able to fire that 22 TCM round. Traveling super fast. I'd like to get some ballistic testing with some ballistic gel and see exactly how it penetrates, but there's a lot of videos out there showing the penetration power of this round. So it absolutely penetrates very well. As far as over penetration, using it in home for an in-home defense, going through walls or something like that, that's something to test with ballistics. But as far as shootability with the gun, very shootable. We probably got it out to close to 40 yards, and we're still hitting you know, a small group about this size. So without adjusting the sights, that's right out of the box. So very impressed with, you know, just how the gun functions out of the box, especially with the 1911. People that own 1911s know that they kind of have to be broken in, but this thing, very impressed how it came out of the box. Very nice shooting, smooth recoil, everything very nice. It did, however, I saw some copper falling right here from it extracting. Sure, that'll clean up. But other than that, I mean, the gun just functioned really well. Very fun to shoot. Very, very fun to shoot. And very accurate. If you're looking at something a little bit different, you know, you have the 9mm option, so you can shoot 9mm, and it's very, very reliable, very easy to manage the recoil with a 9mm. And then you also, it comes with that TCM barrel, which is an awesome kind of wildcat round. So there you have it. This Rock Island Armory 1911, the 22 TCM with the 9/9mm barrel. Very fun pistol to shoot. For 1911 guys, you're gonna love shooting this. Also for, you know, the non-1911 guys, very easy to manage and very fun to shoot. Stay safe. Thanks, guys.